Hello, I'm Steve Farmelo. I am the Regional Director of the Channel Sales in the West with TPX Communications. And I wanted to share with you a little bit of information, some tidbits, if you will, on how to pivot from selling circuits or circuit slinging to becoming a true managed service provider. So we're going to go over that. The agenda today real quickly is why should you pivot? What's in it for you? What does your commissions look like? You know, if you're on the same course of circuit slinging versus going into cloud. And then why TPX? And a quick case study and 3 questions that'll change your career. Don't want to miss the end. Okay, the first part is why are you here? When your why is big enough, you'll figure out your how. You'll find out your how. I'm going to break right into some numbers, which is just kind of an example of what things look like in the cloud business. According to Gartner, the worldwide public cloud service revenue forecast estimated last year to be about $200 billion, going to grow to about $355 billion in the next, by 2020. So you want to ride that wave. You certainly don't see circuits doing that. So that's what's going on with cloud. What does this mean to you? If you have an existing book of business of about $60,000 recurring commissions, that book is dropping, in my opinion, about 17% a year. Now, truly, it only drops on renewal, but as people are adding circuits and other circuits are dropping off, what I did on the book of business that I analyzed, it was a true number last year that the book of circuitry business dropped about 17% a year. So let's say this is the course you're on right now. You're making about $60,000 a year in recurring commissions. That book is dropping because it's all circuits. It's dropping about 17%, but you're running hard up the down escalator. You're growing that book by 20% a year. So it's dropping 17, growing 20. And no cloud business. What does that look like for you? Well, at the end of this year, you'll be at about 62,000 in recurring commissions. In 10 years, because you're running up a down escalator, that book will grow to about $80,000. So that's the path you're on right now. Now, what does that mean to you as far as if you sell cloud? So taking that same book of business, you have $60,000 of circuit business. It's dropping about 17% a year. And let's say you're still going to grow 20% a year, but you're growing in cloud services. You're growing in all cloud services. You're going to let your circuitry business drop off, but the new 20% every year will be cloud. Now, the other thing about cloud is it's a pay-as-you-grow model. So it naturally grows in revenue because of the nature of the beast. It's better, OPEX versus CAPEX type of thing. So it grows at about 20 to 40% a year. So your book is growing 20%, and that book grows by, for the purpose of this example, another 20%. I'm being conservative on it. So what is that going to look like to you in 10 years? Well, you can see here, you're starting off at about 62,000. Your circuitry business is going to fade away, but your 20% growth each year in cloud, and then that book, the base book, grows by 20%. You'll be at about $550,000 in 10 years in annual commissions. So that's recurring commissions. That's your retirement. That's not a bad gig. So this is the visual for those of you that like visual things. You're going to have a lot more financial freedom by focusing now on cloud than on selling circuits. Now, the majority of you that have been doing this a long time, it's so comfortable to sell circuits because you're the expert. You've taken them through TDM and MPLS and all these other circuit network designs, and you're the expert, and it's easy for you. It's uncomfortable to sell cloud because you don't know it all, but that's okay. So that's what we're going to get into. Now, the TPX Solution, a lot of people still think of us as a transport company in the West and in Texas. In reality, we're a nationwide company. Very few people know this, but we've got over 10,000 SD-WAN locations deployed. We're one of the largest. I think we have like 10% of all of VeloCloud. We've got 55,000 customer locations. We've got 50 offices, almost 1,600, 1,700 employees. We are truly a national company that has completed the pivot from circuits to managed services. Now, just as a quick overview, we've got these silos of services. We've got managed SD-WAN, managed firewalls, managed networks, managed data centers, managed backup, managed endpoints, Office 365, and of course we have UCaaS and CCaaS as well. Now you can bring your customers 7 or 8 different providers to satisfy this, or you can bring us in and we can talk about any of these areas with our solution architects. We had a case study, a real case study at the company that I was at, where we had a deep training with TPX, and we had a newer sales rep who had a very small book of business. He was a former direct rep with Comcast, so he knew circuits well, but he was uncomfortable talking about managed services. So we did an in-depth training with the TPX team and the sales engineers, and he got enough to go into a customer that he had, a nationwide nonprofit, and he basically just said, what are the IT initiatives that you're working on? He found out that they were in 10 locations nationwide, had different on-site PBX equipment that was nearing end of life. So he goes, you know what, I just had this great training with TPX, I'm going to bring in a couple of their solutions architects that'll truly become an advisor to you, a resource to you, that'll help you navigate your unique path to the cloud. So he brought TPX in, just to talk about these PBXs, and we talked about a lot of things, like, you know, how do you know your firewalls are up to date, or when do they expire, and different things. And what we found out was that they were unhappy with their current MSP, nationwide MSP. So we made a proposal, long story short, in about a 4-month cycle, we converted this customer to TPX and all of those avenues of products that I went on the slide before. So we saved them about 30% per year, and we got about a 35% MRC out of the deal. The sales rep got a $100,000 spiff. The customer was happy. They got better solutions at a less cost. And it all started with just a simple introduction to the solution architect. The sales agent that brought us in knew enough to say, hey, I met with one of our top suppliers. They've helped thousands of customers nationwide with MSP services. Can I just bring them in? And they said yes, and the rest is history. So what are the 3 big questions that I want you to go away from this little webinar with? So that'll change your life forever. It really will. The first question is, go in and ask them about their business. This is a great time to do that with all that's gone on in the world and the economy and all. Just, how's business? What's going on? So get them on the phone, get them on Zoom, go in person, and find out what's going on. Don't go in to sell, go in to just be a dry sponge. Next, ask them what their current IT initiatives are. Let them talk. Don't interrupt them. Let them talk. Don't try to provide a solution. Just listen to what's going on with the customer. Find out what their initiatives are. And then when you have an opportunity, just say, hey, I want to bring in one of our top partners, the sales architect, as a resource for you. That's all I want to do. So are you open to that? Everybody needs help migrating their unique path to the cloud. You bring those 3 questions to a customer. Now, if you have more experience, guys, you can go deeper on this, obviously. If you want to go, talk about SD-WAN and the difference between VeloCloud and Silver Peak and Meraki and all those differences, you can do it. Have fun with it. But you don't need to be an expert when you have a conversation to introduce us and one of our solutions architects. That's exactly what they're there for. So remember these 3 questions, guys. How's business? What are your current IT initiatives? And can I just bring in a solutions architect simply to be a resource for you? And if you do those things, you'll be different. You'll be different. You'll stand out from the rest of the pack that are trying to go in and push SD-WAN or push UCaaS or CCaaS, client experience, what have you. Just open the door with those simple questions, bring us in, and have fun with it. Happy selling.